In front of me, I have one of the hero character cards from the Elder Scrolls Call to Arms. These oversized cards act as a bit of a dashboard for your character and contain all the information that you need to know about them, their abilities, how much health they have, how tough they have, what they can do. They're slightly larger than the smaller follower cards that you get, which give you a smaller summary. And that's because your hero, your faction's leader, or the character you are playing as in the Delve is the one that you're supposed to be able to customize that bit more. So they have these upgrade slots running around the outside of their cards, one of the first things you'll notice. Hand, body, quick slot and quick slot. So you can choose to equip items or equip the items that you find on your Delves to the character. In this instance, he's got an iron dagger and an iron sword, and he's got some hide armor on, which is, as you'll probably notice, is a little bit similar to the lovely limited edition Dragonborn sculpt that we've got here, which you can pick up at expos. If you see Modiphius at the expos, they tend to have these on sale there as a special collector's edition single miniature. The Dragonborn standing on the stone with the tail whipping around him. It's a lovely, lovely miniature. Anyway, you can watch videos on that, some of our other videos. I've also got 2 quick slots. One of them is to use an item. Of course, I've got a sweet roll, which allows me to discard this card as a free action and take an endurance attribute test to restore health, i.e. eat it. And I've equipped my Dragonborn with Dragon Shout, as you would assume you would do. This allows me to have a Thume tracking card, which shows me how much Thume I'm throwing into, or how much effort I'm throwing into my Dragon Shouts. The spell cards can be fireballs and flamethrowers and all sorts of abilities, and they have different sort of levels of energy and engagement in them. In this case, it's how much Thume, how many syllables I'm throwing into my Dragon Shout. 1, 2, or 3. And that will increase the sort of effectiveness of this. It could be an AoE push that it will do, AoE pullback, or it could just be a single target. Now, these are resources. Obviously, they regenerate every action that you go through without doing anything, just like things like stamina and magic are resources, which will regenerate whilst you play the game. You can get potions to restore them quicker, but you have to manage those resources. They only tick back slowly. Certain, like spellcasters, for example, the Imperial Mage, has an ability called Evocation, which allows her to restore double the amount of magic points per round. But in this case, the character has 3 stamina, 2 magicka. 5 health, meaning they can take 5 injuries before they die. A height of 2, which is quite important, and also hints towards the fact that other monsters might be coming that are bigger. And also because the dungeons have various levels and slopes and things in some of them if you wish to play them that way. And a cost value of the unit. You'll notice that each one of these cards also has a cost value other than the sweet roll, because that is a piece of treasure, and priceless, obviously. And that's used to help you put together your hero, so you can balance, say, war bands when you fight each other, and so on and so forth. Now, there are pretty much, these cards are very self-explanatory. They have the rules written down. They tell you what you can and can't do, more or less. But you'll see on the right-hand side of the track, there's some pretty detailed scribbles and glyphs and hieroglyphics, which might mean nothing to you to begin with. But they actually all refer to different skills within that stat line. So the first stat line is strength, the sort of 2-headed axe. And that shows that I have a one-handed skill here, and that just determines how well the model can use one-handed weapons, such as swords and axes. So hence I've got 2 one-handers, and you'll notice that on the card that matches. Next up, you have your agility skills, and I seem to be quite proficient with archery. I have a lockpicking skill, so I can take lockpicking tests, and a sneak skill, so I can take sneak tests. Next up, we have endurance. Now, my character can use heavy armor. There's the horned helmet there. What else have we got? Also, it's worth noting that will possibly show heavy armor, or that's the light armor symbol, kind of like the chain link symbol. So I can have the chain link armor symbol as well. And the cross is normally a strength skill for block. So I'm guessing that means that we use block as an endurance test rather than a strength test, perhaps. I hope that's right. Next up, we have intelligence and intelligence skills. So within that, our character has destruction. So that's the type of magic dealing with elementals, channeling the elements into destructive properties. We have the Enchanting Wisdom skill, imbuing mundane weapons with powerful charms and artifacts. And what looks like the alchemy bottle is the alchemy skill, so creating potions and whatnot. Could be wrong, please correct me if I am wrong. And under wisdom we have restoration, the type of magic that deals with healing, and speech, the art of the silver tongue, meaning he is a smooth talker. Now basically what that does allow you to do is roll your skill test on any of those. If you wish to block, if you wish to carry heavy armor, you can, you're proficient in it. It kind of gives you that flavour for the character. So that essentially tells me what my character can and cannot wield, cannot carry, cannot attempt to do. When you want to perform an action, for example, such as use a one-handed weapon for an attack, I would have to take a skill test, and that is where this pile of dice comes into it. So let's say I want to attack someone with my sword. My strength skill 5 with my one-handed weapon listed there means I can use a one-handed weapon. This dice that comes with the set is a 20-sided dice that contains the numbers 2 to 10 and a variety of other symbols, such as criticals, total fails, potions with criticals, and whatnot. You want to roll this dice and get a number lower than your skill level. So a skill of 5 with the sword means I need to roll a 5. I got a 6. That is a fail. Now, as your character is better and better, or gets better and better, you get to start to use these green dice. And these green dice modify your raw dice roll. So that reflects you being more skilled. So if I was a more skilled warrior, I might get a green dice. I roll it, I get a -1. That takes that down to a 5. I've now passed my skill test. The better and better I get, the more likely I am to succeed, because I get more of these dice, which contain -1, -3, -2, and some of them with little symbols. Occasionally, you will get a symbol as well. So, for example, the Iron Sword has the Dragonborn skull symbol on it there, the helmet symbol, which means that if I roll that, I get to add an additional green dice to it, making it more accurate again. There are other special abilities, as listed here. If fighting an undead or a draugr, I get to add a yellow to my roll, which means I get to add some damage to the roll, additional damage, rather than the damage which is listed on the weapon. So this weapon already has 2 yellow dice. Now the yellow dice that I would start using would allow me to roll and see that I dealt 2. Because I'm a Dragonborn, if I'm fighting a draugr, I get an additional dice to throw in. They didn't do anything, which is a shame. As your characters progress, they'll get access to more and more powerful dice, and you'll do more and more damage, and you'll have more and more fun. But that's a basic overview of the character dashboard and how it's used and what it tells you. It's a nice simple system, and once you get used to the sort of key of symbols down the side, you'll have no problem speeding your way through your games. There's lots there. There's a couple of keywords that you might need to learn, such as dragon. He has the Dragon Shouts ability, frost resistance, which means he's not going to take damage, or he's going to have an increased resistance to frost attacks. Dual savagery, which means that if you miss with the first swing of your weapon, which I did just then, had I not had the dice, I get to swing with a follow-up with the other weapon. And treasure hunter, which helps me sort of looting and finding treasure in the dungeons. So that's an overview of the Dragonborn's card and how it's used in the game. And there you go, one more last look at the awesome Dragonborn miniature that comes with it. Why would you not want to be playing with that all day? If you like that, if this was helpful, then please do check out our other videos and do click a little like below and let us know what you think of this system. I think it's a big improvement over the Fallout cards that were slightly smaller, that were used in previous Modiphius games. I think this is a lovely way of having your hero heads up in front of you. So let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you in the next video.